What's up, everybody? It is Saturday night, February the 8th, and the Grizzlies just finished playing their first game post trade deadline. The trade deadline, which everybody was hotly anticipating and left many people with something to be desired. Much like the game tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder, the Grizzlies lose 125 to 112 in a game that was not that close. My name is Uncle Buck of the Two Buck Sports Show. I am in Casa de Buckets tonight, as you can tell. He has been kind enough to drive me and my son around all day long. Hear about our full day's worth of events on Tuesday's edition of the Two Buck Sports Show. But tonight is about the Grizzlies game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oklahoma City led by as many as 28, and the Grizzlies never recovered. Their largest lead was 2 at the 11-minute and 39-second mark of the first quarter. And, well, it's just brutal. It's just brutal. No way around it. It was demoralizing. The numbers ended up seeming rather fair. Going down, if you look at the final score, what the truth is and what we saw all game long was that the Grizzlies could not get a defensive rebound when it mattered. Constant offensive rebounds by Oklahoma City, leading to open threes. They shot so many open threes, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got to the free throw line 18 times. I believe the number went 16 of 18. 13 of 16 from the free throw line went Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He is the new James Harden. I do not respect his basketball game as much as many of my peers do, just because so much of his game is at the free throw line. And I know this comes off as sour grapes. We did just get our tails handed to us. We got B to A tonight in FedEx Forum, but I can still have my opinions. I can be a little sour and still try to remain in the middle here and try to be fair. And fairly speaking, I just don't like watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander play basketball. The Grizzlies, you want to talk about some stats for the Grizzlies players? Desmond Bane with 20 points in 36 minutes, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. He shot 7 of 15 from the field and 3 of 7 from 3. He was fine. Santi Aldama had 18 points in 25 minutes. He was fine. Jaren Jackson Jr. 19 points in 35 minutes. He was pretty good. 7 of 14 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3. John Morant had 16 points in 36 minutes. Going into the fourth quarter, he had 7. Just could not get it going. Props to Oklahoma City's defense, which probably isn't talked about enough, but he could never get downhill against this team. He was coming off of screens. We always say that we want John Morant to come off of a top of the key screen, and regardless of how many times he went around a top of the key screen, there was always a second or third defender just standing there waiting on him. He could never get downhill the whole game. And you pair that with the fact that Oklahoma City got every single offensive rebound. It seemed like the Grizzlies were forced into half-court basketball, and they struggled mightily tonight. It was really bad. Zach Edey was he got played off the court in the first quarter. Isaiah Hartenstein just made light work of him rolling to the basket. He couldn't. That's a really hard matchup for him with Shai coming off of a pick and roll with Hartenstein setting the screen. Just a really, really tough game for the rookies, Zach Edey and Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, he only finished with 12 minutes. He had 2 points, 3 rebounds. He was a minus 13. He 1 of 4 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Never could get anything going, and Shai just ate his lunch. I mean, that's the kind of guy as a rookie that will just work you. He's seen too many good defenders to let a rookie really influence him at all. You've seen Jalen Wells have his nights against superstars, and tonight was not his. And so you hope it's a learning curve and you learn and you grow from it. Conversely speaking, second-year guy Vince Williams Jr. had a really good night. I mean, it did not show up in the stat sheet. He had 7 points, no rebounds, 1 assist, 1 of 3 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, and he made 4 out of his 5 free throws. But just absolute pandemonium ensues when he is on the court. And when the Grizzlies made their run in the in the first part of the fourth quarter to take it from the mid-20s to the low teens. I think they got it down to 10 or 11 at one point. It was because Vince Williams Jr. was on the court, and then he just got gassed. He was in the fourth quarter. He was a +9 in 4 minutes. He was really, really good, and you love to see that from a player that just hasn't played much this year. Outside of those guys, I mean, it was just really a game you'd like to forget if you're a Grizzlies fan. If you're a Grizzlies fan, you want to forget it. If you're a player, you really need to take this and think about it long and hard for a minute, because this season has been filled with a lot of turmoil. It's been filled with a lot of injuries. You've had fans, including me, state the obvious that you really struggle against good teams. Even though it seemed like that had been corrected up until tonight. You've had a big win against Houston. You've had another win against San Antonio. You've had some bigger wins in the last couple weeks. It kind of reared its ugly head again tonight. And you have the team you have now. The Grizzlies did not make a move at the trade deadline to add a player that you can put in pen into the top two deep, I guess, to use a football term, of this team. And so you've got the team that you've got, and so you've got to gel, you've got to figure it out. And right now, Oklahoma City is the regular season gold standard. I mean, they're running away with the Western Conference. They'll be the one seed in the Western Conference by at least a half dozen, 8, 9 games by the end of the season. They're just head and shoulders above everybody else when it comes to regular season basketball. What you hope is that you can solidify yourself enough, you can solidify your rotations enough, you can get the continuity that you've been lacking all season by the time playoffs gets here, and you can rely a little bit on some veteran playoff experience that the Grizzlies have versus teams like Houston and Oklahoma City. And so you're going to have to play big boy basketball when it comes down to it. And I'm not out on the Grizzlies. There's nights where you've got it. We've seen this Grizzlies team just have it nights against good teams. Look at Boston. Look at beating Golden State by 50. You've got it. And then you've got games where you just don't. The Grizzlies had one of those games tonight where they just didn't have it. Oklahoma City minus Dort, minus Chet, minus Kason Wallace, and the Grizzlies with, fun fact, this is the first time in 709 days that the Grizzlies have had 2 or fewer players on their injury report. 2+ years that the Grizzlies have not had 2 or fewer players on the injury report until tonight. You had your full allotment of players minus Cam Spencer, which he's not going to factor into it. You had your full allotment of players, and the Thunder were down Chet, Kason Wallace, and Dort, and we still lived in the torture chamber tonight. Got to grow from it. Got to get better from it. You've got to figure out what to do in a game that slows down, because this game slowed down to a half-court game, and you could not get any rebounds. You've got to figure out a way to get Edie and Jaren and BC and GG. I mean, we've just got to be able to stop second and third shots. Look at the stats. You guys already seen them, I'm sure. And I'm trying to do this pretty quick because my son's asleep in the truck before I head to Mississippi. So, on to the next. The Grizzlies play, I believe, the Los Angeles Clippers next. Let's see. Phoenix Suns on Tuesday at Phoenix, and then on Wednesday against the Clippers before the All-Star break. So at Phoenix on Tuesday, at LA for a matchup against the Clippers on Wednesday. So y'all take a nap in the middle of those games. That's a 9 o'clock and a 9:30 tip Tuesday and Wednesday before the All-Star break. So let's get back on our winning ways. You got to get back on the horse. And so Grizzlies do lose this one, though, 125-112 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we'll get back on that horse on Tuesday. So until then, everybody check out everything on Bluff City Media. On Monday morning, we will have the Daily Grind. Me and Luke Hatmaker will be starting your day off at 7:30 on Bluff City Media, and then Tuesday, the $2 Sports Show. So until then, everybody have a good weekend, and we will talk to you later.